This is a simplified tutorial on how to get lag on your forehand. A lot of people want to know how to hit like the pros and what we call TV tennis, and everyone thinks that it's heavy wrist action to get the ball, spinning like that, to get the shot moving that fast, to get racket head speed. But there's a few things that I'm going to break down, and I'm going to do it very slowly, and hopefully you'll be able to get a better sense of what you're doing on the court with your forehand after watching this. So in this video, I'm just going to focus on the lag part. I do have a more in-depth tutorial on the entire forehand, and check that out. The link is down below in the description, and I recommend checking that out before this. If you've watched that video, then welcome. This is going to be your simplified tutorial for how to get lag on your forehand. So once we've set up, most people, they're okay at this point. And then from here, everything goes downhill. We get people setting the racket like a flashlight. Some people just invert the racket too much. Some people wrap it behind their body. Now, here's what you want to do every time to start the lag. Firstly, we get the racket drop. Ideally, you set the racket at the height of the ball, and then you let your arm free fall into what I call pat the dog. I'm not forcing my arm down in this position. I'm just simply boom, letting go of my momentum for a second. And we free fall slightly under the ball into pat the dog. And you'll know if you're in the right position, if your strings are pointing directly to the ground, because this will allow us to generate heavy topspin because we know, we've got the correct grip. And from here, we don't start the swing with the arm like most people, or the wrist. They think the lag is, boom, forcing the lag. But what you need to do is go with the feet, pivot, legs, twist the hips, twist the chest, bring your shoulder in, and the racket literally lags behind you, and it comes through to the contact point. Now, let me explain this sensation with an analogy that may help you comprehend it a little better. Maybe picture it clearly in your mind. Imagine somebody using a whip, like whoosh, whoosh. If you notice a whip, the bottom comes first, and this is what generates all the power. The tip of my racket is the edge of the whip, and that's what's gonna hurt so much if you're being whipped, right? It may sound like a bad joke, but you essentially wanna, whip the worker or whatever. Okay, don't take that seriously, but when you're on the court, just say, okay, gotta whip the worker, okay? So basically, you have to drive the bottom of the whip, which is your body, which has to go first. And the top of the whip is just loose and flimsy. And at the end, we get this, catapult kinetic effect, kinetic built up energy that just, boom, explodes at the end. And that's why if you get whipped, it probably hurts a lot. Now, we want the same thing to happen with the tennis ball. So our arm is like loosey-goosey. If I didn't have any tension in my arm at all and I just, boom, through the body, the arm goes by itself. Now you have to get that sensation with the racket as well. And the reason why the pros are able to sustain hard hitting for hours and hours on end without injury is because they are doing this. They're essentially not trying with the arm. They're using their bigger muscles, which are stronger, that make up way more of your body weight, right? We've got the arm that's maybe, 7 to 10 pounds, and the rest of our body weight is probably over 100. And we're using this instead because using the arm over and over again is not sustainable. For one, it's actually going to produce a weaker, more inconsistent shot. And two, you're going to get injury with your wrist, and you're going to get tennis elbow and shoulder injuries. So we want to prevent injury and go to the path of least resistance when we swing. So we need to make sure that we are using the body first, and you use your body to pull yourself into the shot. I'll show you again, the chain of how things should work. And we get the left arm up as well to help pull ourselves into the swing. And if you notice, I'm pivoting on my toes. It's like a dance, and we want to pivot into the shot, lead with the hips and the chest, and everything comes through, and the racket is along for the ride. The racket is last. I hope you learned something from this video. I hope you're able to be more productive on the court and hit a better forehand. Please subscribe for more educational tennis videos. Ciao. If you want to win more matches at your club or have a system to teach to your own tennis students or your children, I have a complete tennis system which can be absorbed in an online module in less than a week. I've made the mistakes so that you don't have to. Over 13 years, I've spent over $100,000 of my own money finding the best tennis coaching, which is now my system, which is the fundamentals of modern tennis. And finding good tennis information isn't rocket science, but for some reason, it's very hard to find this information even at the most prestigious of tennis clubs. I promise that if you complete the course, go through the whole thing, you can become twice as productive on the tennis court in 30 days. The link will be down in the description. Check it out if you're interested. Ciao.